Hello everyone, Speedrunner 0-18 here, and welcome back to episode 21 of the Pokemon Speedrun Analysis series. Today, we're doing something I haven't done in a while. We'll be doing a versus video between Seadra, the final evolved form of Horsey, and in Gen 2 onwards, the middle evolution to Kingdra, and Dewgong, a bulky water-ice type most well known for being Lorelei's lead. Seadra has a base stat total of 440, while Dewgong has a total of 475. Quite similar, but not exact. Seadra has the better defense and speed stat, while Dewgong has better HP and attack, but barely, and they both have the same special. Seadra having good defense is kinda pointless since it has really low HP, and that kinda cancels out the defense, since Seadra does not feel bulky at all. It's good that they have the same special stats since they'll both be relying on water and ice moves, both special, but here's another difference that could make this race interesting. The level up movesets. Seadra starts with Bubble and Smokescreen, and then later at level 41 it gets Agility, our only badge boosting move in the entire race, late into the game. Dewgong, while it starts with Aurora Beam and Headbutt, better moves than a 20 base power Bubble, it gets access to no badge boosting move, so this race should be quite interesting. Also, if you happen to like these versus videos and want to see more, which I hope to do more of, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me on our journey to 1,000 subs. Also, feel free to join the Discord server and support me on Patreon if you want. Links are in the description. Now, let's get into this versus race. We'll be hopping back and forth between Seadra and Dewgong after each important segment to see how they're doing. So let's start with Seadra. The rival fight is just a simple process of using one Smokescreen and spam Bubble. Bubble, even with stab, is weaker than a tackle, so I need to prevent some hits. If Seadra loses this fight, which has happened before in previous attempts, I just start the run over again. After that battle, I do the Oak Parcel crap and arrive back at the Viridian Mart to buy 1 Pokeball, 6 potions, 3 antidotes, and 3 Paralyze heals. While going through Viridian Forest, I avoid all the non-mandatory trainers since Seadra has Bubble and can take on Brock easily. I also capture a Pidgey for Fly, which was what the Pokeball was needed for. On the mandatory Bug Catcher, Bubble was doing little damage, and if Caterpie were to deal crits to me, I probably would have fainted and have to start the run over. But that doesn't happen luckily, and I arrive at Pewter City and go straight to Brock's gym, where I defeat the Light Years trainer and Brock by spamming Bubble, and Seadra gets a split of 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Now for Dewgong's turn. On the rival battle, I have access to the much better moves of Aurora Beam and Headbutt, and with Stab, Aurora Beam has an effective base power of 97, so I had no issues here. Dewgong in the Brock split has the exact same route as Seadra, including only fighting the Bug Catcher at the very end of the forest, and then going to the gym without healing, and spamming Aurora Beam on the Light Years trainer and Brock himself, and achieve a split of 3 minutes and 21 seconds. So far, Dewgong is in the lead, but only by 10 seconds. But this could be due to the amount of encounters they each got since their routes were exactly the same. Let's move on to the next Misty split. Keeping with Dewgong, on Route 3 I defeat the Bug Catcher, Youngster, the Lass, and the final Bug Catcher using Aurora Beam. It was actually pretty easy. After that, I get into Mount Moon right away, skipping the center, and get the TM for Water Gun, so Dewgong has a water move plus some more power points. I also get the rare candy and defeat the Hiker here for the very quick experience with Water Gun, and then spam Aurora Beam on the Super Nerd and Jesse and James with no resets. And then arrive at Cerulean City. I can either fight Rival 2 or Misty first, but unless you have a super effective move or you desperately need Bubble Beam immediately, Rival 2 is the safer bet, so I go there first. On Rival 2, I just spam Aurora Beam on every one of his Pokemon. 97 base power this early on is quite broken. Now, it's time for the Route 24-25 Gauntlet of Trainers. The Gauntlet was just spamming whatever moves I have to defeat things. One advantage Dewgong has over Seadra is a lot more power points, Meanwhile, Seadra will only have Bubble until I get Water Gun and Mount Moon. I then get the Charmander for Cut and Dig like every playthrough I ever do, and defeat the Elixir Hiker to obtain the Elixir, obviously, and then I battle the rest of the required trainers up to Bill's house. Once I defeat the last guarding his house, I get the Ether, rescue Bill, and obtain the SS ticket. I can now go back to Cerulean City and defeat the innocent bystander with ease. Some Pokemon usually delay Misty until after the SS Sand if they are weak to water, but Dewgong is not. Due to Misty's good AI, she won't use any water moves, just Tackle and Harden, so at this fight I just spam Headbutt. It's a good thing Dewgong has a move that Misty's Pokemon does not resist, so Dewgong ends the split rather quickly for a final time of 11 minutes and 2 seconds. Let's go back to Seadra and see how it's doing. I will be doing the same route as Dewgong did in terms of battling the same Route 3 trainers and Mount Moon trainers. I, however, get one reset on the youngster due to getting unlucky with Rattata hitting me too many times and Ekans using Wrap. Dewgong does not struggle here, but Seadra does. I also pick up the Water Gun, teach it to Seadra, and get the rare candy. Let's just skip straight to Rival 2, since I also chose to fight Rival 2 over Misty here. On this fight, since Water Gun is still my most powerful move, that's just what I spammed the entire time. Then, on the Route 24-25 Gauntlet, I spam Water Gun on the first 3 trainers, heal at the center to restore power points, and then defeat the remaining Nugget Bridge trainers, the Rocket, Elixir Hiker, Onyx Hiker for the experience for the Misty battle, and the Hiker and Junior trainers. I then have to go back to the center to restore PP again, since I need Water Gun to defeat the final lass. I could have used an Elixir here now that I think about it, and just pick up a Max Ether as a backup or something, but oh well, life goes on. I then get the Ether, rescue Bill, and go back to Cerulean and spam Water Gun on the Rocket Grunt. Oh, I'm sorry, the innocent bystander. I now defeat Misty as well, but I can't use Water Gun to defeat Starmie, so I actually teach Bide to Seadra. During the Misty battle, I'll use Water Gun on Staryu to get rid of it, and then on Starmie, I'll spam Bide until it either faints or gets into red bar so I can finish it off with Water Gun. I win the fight first try for a split time of 14 minutes and 12 seconds. Dewgong has really gotten in the lead by over 3 minutes. This is due to the fact that Seadra had a reset, and that Seadra had to take way more heals at the Pokemon Center. This is just proof that starting moveset can mean a lot for a Pokemon. I don't know if Brock made that obvious enough, but I thought I'd say it. Let's see if Seadra can catch up in the Surge split though. Let's continue on with Seadra. I teach Bubble Beam right away over Bubble. It's like the Bubble went up in rank. I'm sorry. And then I spam Bubble Beam on the 2 junior trainers in Route 6, and then I board the SS Sand. Seadra can't learn Body Slam, and we don't need Rest, so I skip those. I do get the Gentleman candy easily since the Gentleman has only fire types. Rival 3 was also very easy by spamming Bubble Beam. I then get Cut, leave the ship, sell the Nugget to buy 9 Super Potions and 6 Repels, teach Cut and Dig to Charmander, and then I enter the gym and battle Surge. Surge can either be really easy or really hard due to his random AI. Let's see how Seadra fares. Seadra spams Bubble Beam, and despite getting hit by Raichu for major damage, Seadra is able to win first try for a split time of 16 minutes and 57 seconds. That definitely helped catching up to Dewgong, but let's see if Dewgong can get a first try victory too. On Dewgong, I delay Bubble Beam since I don't need it right now. On the junior trainers, I use Aurora Beam and Water Gun on the youngster guarding Body Slam, and I use Water Gun for the Gentleman candy. On Rival 3, I spam Aurora Beam since the move is just so good. I then get Cut, leave the ship, buy the Super Potions and Repels, and go battle Surge yet again. On the first attempt with Bubble Beam and Body Slam now on my moveset, the plan for me is to spam Bubble Beam, but I get hit with one too many Mega Punches, so Dewgong gets its first reset. But on the next attempt, Dewgong gets the luck it needs and gets a split time of 14:24. Seadra went from being 3 minutes and 10 seconds behind to just 2 minutes and 33 seconds. It's gaining time, but Seadra's gonna need more than that. At least now they're both at 1 reset. so it'll be a little more fair. Let's take a look now at the Pokeflute split, starting with Dewgong. After defeating Surge on the second try, I get the bike voucher, Squirtle, and dig back to Cerulean City via Diglett's Tunnel, heal at the center, get the bike, and battle the Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet of Trainers. The wrapping last is very easy with Aurora Beam. The guys with the Slowpoke and Rock Tunnel are tricky for both Seadra and Dewgong, since water and ice moves are resisted by Slowpoke, but Dewgong has the advantage of having Body Slam to deal neutral damage. Besides them, everyone else in the gauntlet was easy, so let's just skip straight ahead to Celadon City, where we heal at the center and go shopping. Besides the usual super repels, I buy 2 Pokedolls, 2 fresh waters to exchange one of them for Ice Beam, and today's Vitamin of the Day is a Carbos. Dewgong has much lower speed than Seadra, so I felt this was way more important to boost than special. I then get the HM for Fly, teach it to Pidgey, use the Carbos on Dewgong, and battle Rival 4 at Pokemon Tower. On this fight, I use Ice Beam on Fearow for the one hit, and then Ice Beam Magnemite, Bubble Beam Shelter, and then Ice Beam everything else. The channelers in Pokemon Tower can be difficult sometimes, but Dewgong is able to 2-hit them quite easily without any bull luck from confusion. I also get the elixirs, take the heal pad, get the rare candy, Pokédoll the Marowak, and spam Ice Beam on Jesse and James to rescue Mr. Fuji from their grasps and obtain the Pokeflute for a split time of 20 minutes and 34 seconds. Now it's Seadra's turn to shine. Let's do the Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet. I actually have to save before the wrapping lasts since I literally have to rely on Bubble Beam to take out her team. Something bad that could happen is to get hit with Stun Spore and get wrapped to death. Believe it or not, in a previous attempt, I got a Gen 1 Miss Ice Beam on one of the gym trainers in Erica's gym, and I got para-wrapped to death. That made me start a new run over. I could not believe it. On this attempt, I get poisoned, which is preferable over paralysis. But I did get wrapped a couple of times, and the poison taking my health down further and further, and then I live on 1 HP while poisoned. Holy f***, that was close. On the Slowpokes, since I don't have access to Body Slam or a normal move that isn't Bide, at least yet, I have to spam Bubble Beam, but it's only a 3-hit so it's not too bad. Besides them, the trainers were quite easy, so let's skip straight to the shopping. I buy the usual super repels and 2 Pokedolls and 2 waters to get Ice Beam, and Seadra's Vitamin of the Day is a Calcium. Seadra's speed is fine enough to outspeed most foes, plus I get access to agility rate later, so raising speed is quite pointless. On Rival 4, I spam Bubble Beam. You may have noticed I didn't teach Ice Beam yet. There's a reason for this. This is because at level 30, the learn prompt for learning Water Gun will pop up, and I already know it so it won't happen. I don't need Ice Beam for this fight, so if I delay teaching it, I can save a little bit of time. Just something pretty neat I wanted to mention. I get the same items as Dewgong got, and obtain the Pokeflute for Mr. Fuji for a split time of 24 minutes and 2 seconds. Seadra has lost time in this segment due to the very long wrapping last battle, so now Seadra is behind Dewgong by 3 minutes and 28 seconds, so all those gains from the Misty and Surge split are now gone. This isn't looking too good for Seadra at all, but maybe Seadra's true potential will show in the mid-game, so let's discuss Seadra's mid-game. After getting the Pokeflute, I get the TM for Swift, which Dewgong does not get. This will allow Sabrina to be near perfectly consistent. Plus it's nice to get a physical move for once. I then fly to Celadon City to do the Safari Zone crap. I wake up the Snorlax, chase it off into the mountains, and then battle the group of 6 bikers. All this experience is needed for a gym leader fight later in the mid-game, where I need to be a minimum level in order to succeed. After the 6 bikers are defeated, I have to fly back to Celadon to heal at the center since I got poisoned, and I ran out of early game antidotes, so there's some time lost sadly. I then get the rare candy and PP up while here, and then battle the southernmost biker. This guy gives the most experience out of all the bikers here, so this guy helps me get to level 35. I finally leave Cycling Road and enter the Safari Zone. Nothing special here, I just get the usual full restore, protein, gold teeth, and surf. With the protein ingested, I have Charmander dig us back to Celadon City, and I go enter Erica's gym and battle every gym trainer here. I have the PP up from Cycling Road used on Ice Beam, so it'll last longer, and I also have Surf taught over Bubble Beam. Surf is our most powerful water move, including Stab, so I'll be doing this for both Pokemon. Once all the gym trainers are defeated, I use an Elixir and battle Erica. I unfortunately get one reset here due to Weepinbell landing a Sleep Powder and landing 2 critical hit Razor Leafs. That was very unlucky. Ice Beam is only a range to kill at this level, and even if it lives, it has a 25% chance to miss Sleep Powder, or it could just use a Razor Leaf. On the next attempt, Weepinbell misses Sleep Powder, and I defeat it and her Gloom, earning the 4th gym badge. Next spot on the itinerary is Silphco. I heal at the Saffron Center to set up a dig point, and I head straight to the 5th floor of Silphco, spam Surf on the Scientist on this floor for the experience for that later fight I mentioned earlier, as well as the mandatory Rocket Grunt. I then teleport to the 3rd floor and fight the Rocket Grunt here for some last minute experience as well. With those optional trainers out of the way, I have healed to full and battle Rival 5. I have less Surfs than I'd like, so I'll have to substitute Ice Beam in some spots. But on the first attempt, I died to a critical hit Thunder Shock, so that sucks. On the next try, I try using Ice Beam on Sandslash, but it lived on red health. But it did use Poison Sting and didn't poison me, so I was fine. Then Swift gets a critical hit on Kadabra, and Surf gets a crit on Flareon. That fight was just very lucky, but I'm not complaining after Seadra had a reset. I'm trying to win a race here. On Jesse and James, I spam Ice Beam, and I finally use an Elixir and battle Giovanni. I'll just say this, Giovanni with Surf equals massive stonks. Before digging out though and causing property damage, I get the 10th floor Carbos and Rare Candy, use the Carbos, and then cause property damages. I get the TM for Mimic and enter the Saffron City Gym and battle Sabrina. With Swift, a move that never misses, if the Abracadabra uses Flash or Kinesis, it'll just badge boost my attack and nothing else. So I want more flashes to deal with the Alakazam. I then win the fight first try and get the Marsh badge. 2 badges left for the mid-game. Let's do this. The next gym is Koga. I defeat the first juggler with Surf, and then before the second juggler, I fight the tamer right next to him. I need to be a minimum level of 45 for Koga. That was what I was grinding for this entire time. However, when I defeat the tamer and the second juggler, I'm 100 experience away from level 45, so that sucks. So I battle one more trainer to get there, and then I battle Koga. On Koga's Venonat, at level 45, the first one is a guaranteed one-hit, the second one needs a low roll to not kill, and on the second Venonat, it's a 50-50 shot. I get all 3 of the one-shots and easily defeat Venomoth with Surf and Ice Beam. Plus, even if Double Team is used, I have Swift to help me out. With one final gym to go in sight, I get the Strength HM, the Boulder Rare Candy, and surf down to Cinnabar Island. While in the mansion, I get the Karos and both rare candies and the secret key, and then dig out. I emerge to Saffron City and then fly to Cinnabar Island, and then I enter the gym. I still need some experience for the late game, so I battle every single trainer in here with Surf and Ice Beam. These trainers only take around a minute and a half, and I get a lot of experience from these guys. I then use an elixir to restore Surf's power points and just spam the hell out of it on Blaine. And I get my 7th gym badge for a split time of 41 minutes and 29 seconds. Let's see how well Dewgong does in the mid-game. For this part, I'll only be discussing major differences and major battles. After doing the Safari Zone crap with Dewgong, the first thing I do is go to Erica's gym. Dewgong still has Aurora Beam, so I can defeat all the gym trainers here without having to use an elixir. Erica also goes down even easier with Ice Beam due to Dewgong having Stab while Seadra does not. Next stop for Dewgong is Silphco. I heal at the Saffron Center to set up a dig point like before, and I only fight the required Rocket Grunt to get the card key, and then I go to the 3rd floor, use a full restore and battle Rival 5. On Sandslash, I use Surf, and I do the same thing with Cloyster as well. both of these Pokemon did not have to fear Cloyster at all due to the good AI. Cloyster just kept spamming Supersonic, although Confusion can screw you up if used enough times. On Magneton, I hit myself in Confusion and then died to a critical hit Thundershock just like Seadra. That's actually kind of funny. On the next attempt though, I get past Magneton as well as Cadabra, and I get the TM for Mimic and do the Fighting Dojo grind. Dewgong does need experience, but nowhere near as much as Seadra did, so the dojo is enough. After the dojo is finished, I fly to Fuchsia City and go battle Koga. I only fight the 2 required jugglers here. On Koga, his first Venomoth goes down to Ice Beam, while the final 2 lived in Red Bar. But on Venomoth, I ran out of Ice Beam, so I had to use Surf. Dewgong's bulk is really starting to help so far. Next thing I do is get the Boulder Candy and go to Cinnabar Island to get the Carbos and the 2 rare candies in Secret Key. When I dig out, I dig back to Fuchsia, so I fly to Cinnabar Island and enter Blaine's gym. Just like Seadra, Dewgong has to fight the gym trainers here as well for the experience. Dewgong may end up suffering the fact that Dewgong is neutral to fire attacks and not resistant like Seadra is. So hopefully that doesn't mess up Dewgong too much. Once the gym trainers are defeated, I battle Blaine right away. I forgot to use an elixir, so I had to reset right away. Oops. On the first actual attempt, I do win the fight, but on Red Bar an Arcanine burned me. But at the very least, it was at the very end of the battle, so I suffered no burn damages. This isn't Dewgong's 7th gym though. That will be Sabrina. Since Dewgong can't learn Swift, if Abra uses Flash or Kadabra uses Kinesis, that would potentially spell disaster for Dewgong. Let's see how well the first attempt goes. On the first attempt, I outspeed Abra and it goes down in 1 hit, so I was definitely over worrying about Flash. Kadabra does outspeed though, but doesn't deal a Kinesis luckily. On Alakazam though, it puts me at 32 hit points left, but my Body Slam actually paralyzes the thing, and it couldn't move the next turn, so I'm able to get my 7th badge for a split time of 35 minutes and 3 seconds. Now, Seadra has fallen even further behind and is now 6.5 minutes behind. Honestly, unless Seadra really catches up in the Elite Four, I think Dewgong may be the winner. But the race isn't over yet, so let's see how Giovanni and Rival 6 goes for both of them, starting with Dewgong. At the final gym, I fight the 2 required Cool Trainers and Black Belt, and then I fight an optional Cool Trainer and Black Belt, as well as the nearby Tamer. I also fight the nearby Cool Trainer for more experience. I also fought the Cool Trainer next to Giovanni for more experience. When I get to Giovanni, I was just surf spamming my way to victory. Nothing special with him though. But let's see what's special about Rival 6. I have to reset immediately due to forgetting an elixir again like an idiot. And then on Sandslash I use Surf. On Execute I use Ice Beam. On Cloyster I spam Surf and Body Slam, and even got a lucky Paralyze. Magneton then paralyzes me, allowing Kadabra to defeat me. It took me 3 tries for Magneton to not do the 50% chance of using Thunder Wave, so that lost quite a bit of time. But with the rival out of the way, Dewgong achieves a pre-league split of 39 minutes and 26 seconds. For Seadra, the only trainers I fought in Giovanni's gym besides the required ones were the Cool Trainer and the Black Belt that Dewgong fought, and then I get to level 50. I also use 5 rare candies to get to 55. Then Giovanni is a simple surf sweep like with Dewgong, except I was able to badge boost my special stat 3 times with agility. After Giovanni, I use 1 rare candy to get to level 57. On Rival 6, I reset immediately since I forgot to teach Mimic. Okay, I really need to stop doing this crap. On Rival 6, I take out Sandslash with Surf, and on Cloyster, I Mimic Withdraw and use it 6 times and Agility 3 times. That was more badge boost than I actually needed, but it doesn't really matter, as I outspeed and KO everything else. I end up at level 58, which is 6 levels higher than Dewgong, but that's just because Dewgong hasn't used any candies yet. And then Seadra goes for the league at a time of 45 minutes and 10 seconds. Seadra is now only 5 minutes and 44 seconds behind. It did gain a little bit, mostly due to Dewgong fighting extra trainers. But it's now time for the pre-league talk, for both Dewgong and Seadra. Seadra has the upper hand here since Seadra has a way to badge boost moves, but Dewgong has the edge for consistency due to being bulkier and having rest if needed. I didn't pick up the TM for either of them. Dewgong just learns rest naturally by level up. I can't wait to see how this goes. In Victory Road, they both get the rare candy, and then I arrive at the Pokemon League, where I heal at the center, buy 4 full restores, and for Dewgong, I teach Mimic over Body Slam and Horn Drill over Ice Beam. You may be freaked out since Horn Drill is inaccurate, and I'll need Ice Beam for Lance, but Horn Drill is Dewgong's only good way to take down Lorelei's Pokemon since they resist all of my moves. And with Dewgong's prep work done, both Dewgong and Seadra battle the final 5 trainers. Let's do this shit! On Lorelei, for Dewgong, I needed to defeat Dewgong and Cloyster only with Horn Drill. Once I'm able to defeat those 2 with my 5 Horn Drills, I mimic Amnesia off of Slowbro, use it 3 times and then spam Surf on everything else. If I have any Horn Drills left, which I didn't for this attempt, I could have used it on Slowbro, but I have to use Surf on everything, so oh well. Lapras almost kills me with Body Slam, but I break out of Confusion luckily. For Seadra, I use Agility 3 times on Dewgong, and then take out Dewgong and Cloyster with Surf. I then mimic Amnesia off of Slowbro, use it 3 times, and spam Surf for the win. This fight takes 1 reset since Slowbro kept attacking me way too much, but I win on the second try just by spamming Surf. On Bruno, they both spam Surf. Next, on Agatha, I have Dewgong use some rare candies, and have Dewgong relearn Ice Beam over Horn Drill, so it's a good thing it learns it naturally by level up. On Gengar, I mimic Substitute and then I spam Surf and Ice Beam on everything. Seadra does the same thing as Dewgong, except while I'm behind a Substitute. I use 3 agilities to boost my special stat, and then I destroy everything with Surf and Ice Beam. On Lance, Dewgong uses Ice Beam on Gyarados, but it can tank 2 of them, so Lance uses a full restore. However, on Aerodactyl, Dewgong's low speed comes to bite it in the ass. The Aerodactyl actually outspeeds, so I have to hope that Gyarados doesn't deal too much damage to me. But on the next attempt, I actually just use Rest on the second Dragonair, the one that doesn't have Thunderbolt, and I win the second try. Seadra actually gets to set up 3 agilities on Gyarados, and then spam Ice Beam on everything. But on Aerodactyl, it can survive an Ice Beam, so I use a Stab Surf to take it out. Now, they both face the champion. For Seadra, I have to use 3 agility on Sandslash, then mimic Earthquake, and I can spam from there. However, I have to be able to tank a hit from Cloyster's Spike Cannon, so I reset when Sandslash left me at 3 HP, which was way too low. On attempt 2, I'm able to set up successfully, and then I tank Cloyster's Spike Cannon, and then I defeat Flareon for a final time of 52 minutes and 27 seconds, and a game time at the Hall of Fame of 3 minutes and 19 seconds. That is still an impressive Pokemon Yellow finish, but will Dewgong take first place, or will things go horribly wrong? On Dewgong, the fight is way harder and more luck dependent due to 2 things. 1, I don't have a badge boosting move, and 2, in Gen 1, if you're paralyzed, even if you use Rest, the speed drop does not recover. What I have to do on this fight is mimic Earthquake and spam Surf right away on Sandslash. Then on Alakazam, I use 2 Earthquakes, but since Alakazam outspeeds, it gets 2 chances to hit me. If it hits me with Kinesis, I have to reset right away since I cannot miss the Magneton, which is very deadly to Dewgong. Once I get past Alakazam, I use Toxic, which I had taught over Ice Beam, on Exeggutor. That way, it only spams Leech Seed, and the poison can kill it while I use Rest to recover HP. Then Magneton, the hardest Pokemon, comes out. I can outspeed and hit it with an Earthquake, but it has a 50% chance to Thunder Wave. If that happens, I immediately reset. I need the 50% Thunderbolt, and for it to not paralyze me. This fight takes a total of 3 resets in order to win the battle, which was honestly less than I thought. And there was even an attempt that got Thunderbolt, but it paralyzed me anyway, so I had to reset. I was pretty pissed off when that happened. Once I finally got past Alakazam and Magneton, I use Toxic on Cloyster and wait a really long time for it to die, since Leech Seed kept healing it back up, and due to how many spike cannons kept hitting me, I had to keep using Rust to stay alive. Once Cloyster is finally KO'd though, Flareon goes down in one surf, and Dewgong gets a final time of 51 minutes and 46 seconds, and a game time at the Hall of Fame of 3 hours and 3 minutes. This race ended up coming down to the bloody wire. Dewgong's champion fight was very inconsistent, while Seadra's only depended on how much damage it got from Sandslash. Seadra was only 41 seconds behind. I can guarantee if Dewgong had to reset again, Seadra would have won. But today, our winner is Dewgong. Even with some inconsistent rival battles, the fact it gets more attacking moves in bulk allows me to gain a lead early on and allow it enough time to reset on the harder fights. So for now, Dewgong gets 3rd place on the leaderboard behind Gengar and Poliwrath, and Seadra follows up right behind it at 4th place. But we're not done yet. Let's have them both face Mewtwo as today's bonus segment. For Seadra, the plan here is to spam Ice Beam and hope for a freeze. I then get one during the first battle, and I defeat Mewtwo. Without a freeze, Seadra had no hopes of defeating Mewtwo at this level, especially without recovery while Mewtwo gets it. On Dewgong, I use Toxic and try to whittle it down with Surf. I can also use Rest if needed. Mewtwo keeps delaying the inevitable with Recover, but after a while, Mewtwo just gives up and accepts defeat. Now for Pokemon Yellow's second bonus segment, the Professor Oak battle. I do it using this cheat code I found online. Just put it into GameShark and battle the first Misty gym trainer. Even if you defeated Misty, you can still use this code. Let's begin with Dewgong. On Tauros, I use 2 Surfs to take it out. Exeggutor doesn't have Leech Seed, so I just use Toxic and it puts me to sleep with Hypnosis. That's fine really, as Exeggutor will whittle itself out. And then on Arcanine, 1 Surf takes care of it. Now for Blastoise. I mimic its badge boosting move Withdraw, and try badge boosting my special to take out the rest of his team with Surf, since that is my only attacking move after all. This battle takes a reset due to a bad crit from Blastoise, but I ended up winning the Professor Oak battle quite easily. Let's see how well our runner-up Seadra does against Professor Oak. Against Tauros, I use Surf like Dewgong did, and then I Ice Beam Exeggutor, and Arcanine is easy with Surf. On Blastoise, I use Agility 3 times, but the problem is that Blastoise puts me at too low of HP for Gyarados thanks to Skull Bash, and it finishes me off with Hyper Beam. I go into this fight many more times, but I kept losing. So what I ended up doing is hacking in rare candies and giving Seadra a few to get to future damage rounding thresholds. I don't count this as cheating since Dewgong was already determined the winner of the race. This is just for fun. What I finally had to do on the actual winning attempt was be level 68 for the better ranges and the ability to survive more attacks. I also set up my agilities on Arcanine instead of Blastoise, and then when Blastoise comes out, I use 3 Surfs for the knockout. Now I'm only at 52 HP for Gyarados, but it uses Leer and then Dragon Rage, so I'm able to live on 12 HP, get to a nice level, and Seadra defeats Professor Oak. Although not as good as Dewgong due to its absence of bulk and self-healing since I didn't get rest, so Dewgong definitely won the Professor Oak battle better than Seadra. Plus, Dewgong didn't have to hack in rare candies, but Seadra had to, so that should tell you something. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pokemon Speedrun Analysis series. I also hope you enjoy the bonus segments for all 3 games of the series, and potentially more games to come in the future. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next speedrun.